Man, if there's one prospect I can't seem to not get excited for, it's Claudio Puelles. I mean, for his record and his age, it's really impressive to see what he's been pulling off. And he's actually the only guy to ever beat the Monkey King, Jordan Levitt. So from a grappling perspective, we know what we're getting here. And I'm very excited for that. Now, let's talk about Clay Guida and what he's been putting together, man. That Mark Madsen fight was pretty serious win for him, and I really think that was it's weird, but like, can you have coming of age fights as Clay Guida? Because like, no matter what, every time we see him, he's just getting better and better, and I'm blown away a little. I'm a little blown away. I think that you're seeing Clay really put it all together. He just did a grappling fight against Billy Quarantillo in December. So it's really funny to just see how much he's been able to do. Sorry, he lost a split decision to Mark Madsen, but I'm thinking about all of the things he's accomplished over time, and even his recent losses since 2019 are still Jim Miller, Bobby Green, and Mark Madsen. Prior to that, Charles Oliveira. Like, that's how good Clay Guida is, and we know what we're getting with him, right? He's got the gas tank of the Titanic. I mean, I don't know how long he can go, but I'm pretty sure he can go. And then we've got the wrestling base, right? The classic style UFC, man. This guy was fighting at UFC 100s and earlier. Like, that was the wrestler with greater cardio and improving boxing. Like, that was the tail of the tape, right? And now we're at the point where we're watching him go toe-to-toe with really good wrestlers. And his hands fly, man. I think that his boxing and his striking has gotten really good. And it's weird, but it's almost like the boxing matches his pace. So the way he's able to move, his fists fly too. So he's just constantly looking for blows. I don't see power. Now, that's the one thing with Clay is I see a lot of, I've heard so many people say this about Bilal, and I don't want to call him pillow hands, but it's just one of those things where it's a lot of volume, it's a lot of points, and I think that is still a style of striking, because if you're a point style fighter like Clay Guida is, that's another added aspect to your game that you need to be able to ride 3 or 5 round fights out. Now, with Claudio, the thing that I'm just most excited to see is he able to utilize this ground game against a guy like Clay Guida? Because if he is able to really make this a dominant grappling fight, I think he's going to be on the radar in a big way. And that's because when you think about Clay Guida and some of the old-timers that are 30, 35 plus who've been watching this sport for almost 20 years, Clay Guida. You've seen everything he can do. And when you watch a 20-something, early 20s, guy who's been fighting since he was probably 15, professionally, just come in and be able to execute to that level, take on the guys that he has. Like I said, man, Jordan Levitt, as much as so many people picked against him last week, the hunch that I had that he was not going to lose was that durability factor. It's just, I don't know if I've seen a guy have such a good brain in the Octagon. You can knock him for athleticism, you can knock him for the lack of hands and only high kicks and all that fun stuff, but he knows how to win, and he knows how to keep himself in a fight, and that's the most important factor. Now, with that said, Claudio Puelles is the only guy to beat him. So I'm leaning Claudio Puelles here. I just think he deserves the line about minus 120. I don't think this is by any means oh my God, this amazing prospect's taking on Clay Guida. No. This could easily be a pick'em for all I know. But Claudio, that minus 120, minus 130, it's just, I think he can take a punch very well. Clay cannot throw for power, and the ground game is so elite that I think if he gets Clay Guida there at any point of that second and third round, I just want to see how long he can keep him there, because I think this is a pretty tough fight for Clay, especially because he's not going to be able to utilize some of those things that he does so well. So let's go with Claudio about a minus 120. I think that's a fair line. And wow, so Clay actually opened as a minus 150 favorite. I'm not, like I said, I can't discount that. It totally makes sense to me. Puelles is a plus 115, but ladies and gentlemen, we've got another pick'em on this card. So last week we had guys who shouldn't be minus 400 favorites sitting at minus 550 and all this fun stuff, and now we got pick'ems across the board. I don't know which one we prefer, It's like, let's at least do more research and make some money off this one versus trying to parlay Pat Sabatini with every sport on the planet. Am I right? I like Puelles in that fight. I think Guida by no means is an underdog or should be written off on this fight. Definitely a tough one to call, but I'm leaning Puelles here.